Hi, everybody. Wanted to come on and say a quick hello. I'm doing it from my phone, and I do not know how to read comments from my phone. Oh, there it is. Hey, Cement Shoes. Nice to see you. How you been? Thanks for popping by. Just wanted to explain the crazy day I had yesterday. Um, kind of nuts. If anything else could maybe possibly help other people because I didn't see it coming. Unfortunately, I had a crazy, let's say, all of a sudden, like I was sick, I was passing out, my blood pressure had dropped all day long, ended up in the emergency room. They wanted to keep me. I'm like, oh, hell no. So I'm at home. I'm glad I'm at home, but I'm still not feeling well. Hey, Harley. Yeah, nice to see you. Yeah, my cousin took this picture along. It was probably about 3 years ago. He took this picture. Hey, Lanky Tour. I am doing better. Jesus Christ, I thought they were going to keep me yesterday. I thought they were going to keep me because at the very last moment, when you throw up all over the floor, I figured I'm doomed. They're going to keep me. But thankfully, we just wrote it down to morphine and water. So they let me go home. That's all I cared about. How you been, Lanky Tour? Just coming in to say hi to a few people. Haven't been live for a while. It's kind of been up and down with my things that are going on with me. And every time I do find a moment that is like, okay, I feel normal, I go out, I do something, and the next day things aren't good. I don't know if that's God's way of saying He wants me to stay inside, but it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. Um, but I had a really hard time yesterday, which was super duper crazy because I was just out with my girlfriends. Hey, Save Robbie. How are you? We got Save Robbie and Lanky Tour, Cement Shoes, Harley Yaya. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Although my thing says I only have one person in here. Obviously, it's wrong. So, uh, yesterday I woke. Well, let's go back 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I went out with some friends of mine. My best friend is getting married, and I am a bridesmaid along with a couple of us. Should actually say many of us are in this wedding. And so we just went out to have a little bit of a talk. We had dinner. I had a glass of wine. We were sitting in the sun because it was outdoor seating. So we said, let's go to this other place because it was behind, had trees, and it was on a patio. So we sat there for a while, had some wine, enjoyed ourselves. Um, Talked, and we drank a lot of water. We drank a lot of water. So then I'd gone home, woke up the following morning, went to doc. I went to go see my physical therapist yesterday. Go to see the physical therapist. I like legitly faint, not to the point of non-consciousness, but I fainted to the point where I could barely see what was going on, and my body was completely all weird. Um, and it turned out that my blood pressure was like 78 over 55, and they were like, "Ooh, that's not a good thing." I'm like, "No, that's not a good thing." And then they tried it again. They put my legs up, put my legs up on a chair on a table that I was laying on the table that I was on. It did slightly bring my heart rate back up, and my blood pressure back up. By the time I went home, and then I went to go visit my doctor, he took it twice. His because they said you immediately got to call your doctor. Nor was I allowed to drive home, so my mother-in-law had to pick me up from physical therapy and bring me home. So now I'm at home, and I called the doctor, and they said we must see you today. And I'm like, ugh. So now I had to find a friend. I found a friend to take me, thankfully, to the doctor. Hey, Harley, yeah, I'm sorry, just trying to keep up with the text. Um, my friend took me to the doctor. I'm thinking, all right, just some low blood pressure. Who cares? And he looks at me. He's like, "You're dehydrated." Like, I am not dehydrated. He's like, "You're dehydrated. You need to go to the hospital. You go to the ER now." I'm like, "This isn't happening to me. This isn't happening to me." And he's like, "Who drove you here?" I said, "Well, my friend drove me here." And he is one of the fathers of one of my kids' friends. And we're all like good friends together. And I said, "Minor, you're going to have to take me to the hospital." And he's driving in my car. And it was a whole cluster mess of everything that was going on. But at least he drove me to the hospital, and nobody is allowed in and out of the hospital. So once he's like, "I really feel bad dropping you off and not making sure you get in." I said, "It doesn't matter." I said, "From here on out, they take care of you. You're not allowed to even come inside." So I go inside and whatever, and see my blood pressure was actually raised. Well, of course it's raised. Now I'm anxious because I hate going to the hospital. I go to the hospital. They finally get an IV line. Normally it takes 2 or 3 sticks before they find one. But what they do is now is they use the ultrasound machine. When they use the ultrasound machine to find a vein, it's normally a really good vein that they find too. Um, with the ultrasound machine, because honestly, by going using your hands and just poking around, people can't find my veins. But yesterday was crazy. I didn't see any of this coming yesterday. I felt fine the day before. I just was out with my friends enjoying myself. Life was fine. And then, after a while, I was at the hospital, I would say from 3:30 till about 8:30. I finally went, "Can I please go home?" Because they wanted me to stay. They wanted me to stay and they wanted to admit me. I said no. I didn't want to be admitted. I knew if I was going to be admitted, I wouldn't get any sleep. So I said, "I need sleep. I need to go home." And okay. So we went to sleep and I went home. But as I called my mother in law to help come pick me up, I mean, I started no, this is embarrassing. I had a couple of glasses of water, and they'd given me morphine from my back, and it was making me feel queasy. And man, I became like a fountain. I was like projectile, but it was all water. I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, I couldn't stop. So my mother-in-law's like, "Call me back." Oh, so she figured I was going to stay. I somehow talked them into, like, I think it has stuff to do with morphine and water. They're like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." So I was just thankful because I thought they were going to make me stay because I got sick, and I got sick all over the floor. But it was all water. So my mother-in-law did come get me. I was pretty sick yesterday. Still not well today, but it's better than being in the hospital. I think I can take better my care of myself sometimes than they can. Yeah, morphine's rough. Hey, Red Rum, how you doing? Yeah, morphine's hard on the stomach more so than anything else. Like, I've had pain medication. I've had morphine before. I've never had that reaction to it by no means, but I'm still not feeling 100% due to it. It was just a really strange day that all this shit happened at once. And Red Rum, because I was like, "Oh, look where I am." I always show her and bitch to her, because I can't stand being in the hospital, and I know she understands that. And I know when it comes to other certain things, there's certain things I can handle myself, and there's certain things I can't. When my doctor said I needed to get an IV line, well, I needed to get an IV line. I said to myself, they're gonna, they might want me to stay. Hopefully, they won't. And because especially now that I threw up, they were definitely wanting to make me to stay, and I had to sign a paper that says no, I was going home. But it's so much better. You can take better care of yourself at home sometimes. I just needed to get some extra fluids. That was what was important. And honest to God, I really don't know how I got dehydrated so fast. Have a beautiful day, Harley. Thank you so much. Ooh, headed to the golf course. Take tons of water. Obviously, you can freaking dehydrate and not even know it. Hi, Mandy Hall. How you been, sweetie? Long time no see. It's weird. It's just a weird thing that's going on right now. It's not going to last forever. Yeah, that's true. I had to do what I had to do, and I had to do to make sure not to stay in that hospital because, especially since I started throwing up, they would think there was something wrong with me, that I was throwing up water and blah, 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 blah. And I have gastroparesis. I don't need them to already diagnose me again with gastroparesis. I had it. It could have turned into a long stay. So that's why I'm glad I left. I know how that hospital works. If they get worried about one thing, they keep you. And if you're worried about everything that was on my body, dear God, I would have been there forever. But I'm just glad that I talked them out and let me go so I could go home because I was not well, all over being dehydrated. And I still to this day don't understand because I drink water all the time how I was dehydrated. None. Except for sitting outside the night before with my friends and having 2 glasses of wine, but with plenty of water. So I completely thought I was fine. I have no idea. So, how's everybody else doing this week? I just thought I'd come on and say hello to people, see what everybody was up to. I haven't gone live. It's been a while. Uh, Things have been up and down for me, especially this isn't my first, unfortunately, rodeo during it to the hospital in the pandemic. This would be my third. So it's so annoying, especially when you can't have your family member come bring you something if you forgot something. I didn't have a charger for my phone yesterday. I'm like, I can't even look at anything on my phone unless it has to do with A, picking me up or coming to get me or dropping me off or whomever. But thank God to have really good friends. And I do. And I'm lucky for that. Because even if it wasn't my friends, I have other friends who are like, are you okay? Are you okay? We'll help you. We'll help you. And they were all extremely helpful. But finally, my one friend said he would help. And he helped us out greatly because little did he know that we were going to be making a stop at the hospital because we were going to my doctor. You have to pass the hospital to get to my doctor. And the last thing I thought I heard his voice was going to come out of his mouth was, you need to go to the emergency room. What? Emergency room? It's just low blood pressure. No, we think you're dehydrated. Think to myself, how on earth could I be dehydrated? Hello, Mr. Shannonite. Nice to see you. Oh, sorry. Just reading your stuff. My eyes are not that well and I can't read. I just wanted to go up live and just say hi to everybody and let you know what was going on. It's been kind of crazy in my summer. My body has gone from school mode to summer mode like instantly, from where I would fall asleep at like 9:10 and now I'm like up till 12:01 instead of 9:10. And now my husband's in bed before I go to bed. So it's been this whole quarantine's been quite interesting. Not going to say that I like it. I'm not going to say that I want to keep this going on, but it's I've learned things, but I would rather not have it. Put it that way. Mandy Hall has young friend. I'm sorry, I'm missing something here. Lanky, it happened so quickly to me yesterday. I mean, unaware, complete. Everyone's trying to calculate everything I've done within the past 24 hours and trying to see what I've done to make myself dehydrate and what I need to do, what I not need to do. I'm like, oh my God, I don't think anybody could have saw this coming. Nobody could have saw this coming. How am I feeling now? Yeah, I'm kind of laying down, feel still kind of feeling lightheaded and tired. I think I need a day. It's still rough. My stomach's not feeling so great. But thanks, Mel. Mel, thanks for coming in, sweetie. Good to see you. Not a lot of people. I don't know if there is anybody even live now at this time. Yes, you have confused me, Mr. Shannon. I am very confused. But it is what it is with having chronic pain, but I don't expect to get dehydrated so freaking easily. If you don't understand, like I drink water all the time. So for me to be dehydrated, I don't know what the hell happened. Like, was there a day that I missed or something? I'm trying to think back. I'm like, I have no idea what I could have done to prevent this from happening. I mean, it's low blood pressure and I passed out. It's not like I haven't passed out before. I do go down fast, Mel Mel, extremely fast. If you haven't noticed, when it happens, it happens and it happens hard, and I never know when. And that's I'm somebody's maid of honor in a wedding in June. God forbid, what if something was to freaking happen? That's the one thing that scares me. She's aware of it and she's willing to take that risk. I'm like, if you're willing to take that risk, I'm willing to take that risk. So that's why I agreed to be in her wedding. Because God, I don't know how my body's going to react day to day. Sorry, trying to read this bottom one. Your body just use. It does exactly, Mama. It goes down so quickly when I'm not well, and it's like super fast. Ugh, man, cement shoes. The one thing I despise. I mean, from being sick is Pedialyte. Like when I was a kid, I had stomach issues, and they made me drink Pedialyte all the time. And Pedialyte to me was nasty. Never liked it. But I will drink Gatorade, and I probably do need some electrolytes. I think that's half my issue right now. Although they did give me 2 bags of fluid in the ER yesterday. Um, you know, I don't know. I think I'm okay, but I'm still not feeling fully. And my mother-in-law's like, "Are you sure you should be leaving?" I'm like, "They pulled out the IV. I'm not about to go back." See, for me, the IV is so difficult. Because the IV is so difficult, I'm just like, if it, and that was the one thing I'm like, do I leave even though I got the good vein in, knowing I had a really good IV in, and that's hard, guys, for me. Getting a good vein and knowing that this thing would probably last at least 2 to 3 days and not worried that it's probably going to explode within less than 24 hours. Because normally that's what happens with most of my IVs. Not IV poles, icy poles. Black triangle over one eye. She was just guard one. Aw, cute. Do you still have your cat? Cement shoes? Well, I guess not. That would be a very old cat. Wouldn't been not IV poles, icy poles. Fortunately, I don't see icy poles. I see more IV poles than anything. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate it. I just want to come on and say hello. I haven't done it in a while. And I'm just, YouTube. I don't know if you guys realize YouTube's gotten crazy, crazy, lost its ever loving mind, just like the world has. But I'm going to sign off now. I want to thank you guys for even just stopping by and saying hi. Um, Thank you, Lanky Tour. I love you too, and I love you too, Mel Mel and Cement Shoes. I just, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Does that make sense? 45. I should be kicking, wanting to go to the beach, doing as much physical activity, and my body doesn't allow me to. Whatever. Some of us aren't blessed that way, some of us are. It's just the way it is. I'm still waiting to see if Loopy Lisa has been kidnapped by a scammer. Mr. Shannon, I can tell you actually a little bit more what's going on about Loopy Lisa. She has not been kidnapped. As a matter of fact, she's not at her best. That's all I can say. I have talked to her. She is okay. You know, she's being taken care of, but things aren't good for her right now. That's all. She's been going through a really difficult time at the moment. I will Lanky Tour, you know, and you always see me as a subscriber everywhere anyway. And I jump up on panels and like crap. I even jumped up on Diana Wendy. I'm like, I've never been on Diana Wendy's until last night, and I was half asleep. I was so tired from everything I went through yesterday. I'm like, oh, but I gotta talk. Yeah, well, thankfully, no, Mr. Shannon is not living underneath Lisa's sofa. If he was, he would know what's going on. It's always good to see you, Lanky Tor. Always good. I'm glad that you. I'm glad you're my subscriber. I'm glad you're all my subscribers. You're all very nice and kind people. That's all I could ever ask for. That's all I want. I don't want to deal with the crap of the mud flowing, flinging, angry, dangerous people that are out there. I just don't want to do that for myself. I just want to enjoy myself with people who want to be around me. That's all. Oh, I'm not taking Remy status. Don't you worry, Mel Mel. There's no way anybody could take Remy status. Yes, I'm going to be. I'm looking after myself. I also have my children, and I think my mother-in-law will be coming soon. I'm just actually have the TV on. I've been watching a little bit of YouTube because I didn't watch any yesterday because I was being tossed from place to place, and I knew my battery wasn't that great, and I needed to go home at some point, so I need to save my battery power. So just wanted to say hi to everybody because of that, you know, and I will catch everybody else the next time I go live. Things will hopefully get better soon, and I will talk to you all real soon.